What is up, guys? I'm Ray and welcome to another Wuthering Waves video. Now in today's video we're going over two already existing tier lists. So on the one hand I have the PrideWin tier list here, and I also have the CN tier list, which is available on Bilibili. I will put the link in the description down below. So why I chose these two sites, I think these are the most reliable ones, at least in my opinion. I'm sure that there are enough other tier lists, but I think like these are like the most known tier lists or the most shared one in the community, and I think also most other people value exactly those two tier lists the most. I just want to say or include that I have certain opinions on characters, but I'm honestly not experienced enough to make myself a own tier list. So my whole gaming experience about all the characters is based on the last 5 days, where because I was so busy with doing other things, I wasn't even able to log into my friends' accounts, which I usually do in other games to test out characters. Yeah, I wasn't able to do that for Wuthering Waves so far. So I had the time to read over all the characters, so I'd say that I have a good knowledge about what everybody is doing. But I honestly also have to admit that in practice, or it sometimes it is very different. And if we just look at the PrideWin tier list, they do put a lot of work in there, and I just theory graphed from reading the characters, and I'm pretty sure that they tested the character as well as the CN tier list. The people who made the CN tier list, I think, also excessively tested the characters, so they have a very well educated opinion on where they did put the characters. But also, overall, in terms of tier lists, I also want you to guys don't take tier lists too seriously. Play the game and enjoy it in your own pace. This is also what I do. I'm definitely still interested in tier lists. I'm interested in what are the units that are meta, what are the units are strong, what combinations do work in this game. But still though, as long as I can clear the game, I don't care too much about the tier list. I rather care about characters that I like from the kit or from their design. Yeah, just with that being said, the PrideWin tier list is now available since I think nearly 1 week. So I think when the video releases, this video, Wuthering Waves is out for a week. So we definitely have a very good definitely have some very good tier lists here. And just during the last week, I think PrideWin changed their tier list like 3 times. So possibly even if I do another video, they could change it again. So that alone shows how much work they did put into the tier list. Okay, so now let's go over this. I don't want to talk about Yinlin here because you can see her icon here already because she's not out yet. And usually this is what I always do for every other gacha game. I never talk about leaks or kits that are not officially revealed by the devs. So yeah, even if there are leaks from other characters, I will usually don't talk about this in my videos as a official thing. So for the priority list, we basically have 3 categories: main DPS, hybrid, and supports. And then we have, I think, 5 tiers. So this is tier 0, tier 0.5, tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3 as the worst category. Now, for Honkai, I used to go by section by section, so I think I will do it the same here. For now, PrideWin obviously says that Gion, the current limited character, is the best DPS character. I think this is also no surprise. So I used to see the new or the first limited character always in tier 0. I think pretty much for, I'd say, every game, every gacha game of this kind, I saw that the newest limited character, like on the release before even new characters got introduced, is always like on the highest tier. So I think this is no surprise that he's currently the strongest DPS character. More interesting is tier 0.5. So we have, of course, obviously the 2 5-star characters included here, Calcharo and Encore. I think this is also like the next most obvious choice here because both of these characters are available, and these are like the highest rarity that you can get from this category of main DPS characters. So there's only like these 3 choices right now, at least for summonable characters, and that's why I also don't think that this is a surprise. Yeah, what what is a surprise here is that the Havoc Rover is tier 0.5. That means he's on the same level as these two 5-stars. Of course, the Rover counts as a 5-star unit, but he is free to play. Most of the games that I did play where the main character is a thing, I think the characters most of the time are just tier 2 or lower. So that alone is really insane, and everyone has that. So even though if you with your selector ticket didn't pick one of these two and you're still not hitting the pity with your beginner selection banner, you're guaranteed to have the Havoc Rover. Just a notice here, it only counts for S2, which means you have to have 2 dupes on this character. And for now, he is in the main DPS category on tier 0.5, which I think is really, really insane. The next, Dungeon. I think Dungeon is really, really cool, really nice character, but I wasn't able to play him a lot just because of the fact that I'm focusing on other characters. We're still at the beginning of the game. We don't have too much resources to upgrade every character, but I still think he's decently good. So I saw a lot of gameplay with him, and I think like the only funny thing, annoying thing, or interesting thing, like all at once, is that he loses HP, and you have to be careful with this. So yeah, you definitely have to get good with the characters so to make it work. But I definitely also do think that he really belongs to the tier 1 category and is a solid pick. Next, we have Xixia and we have Ling Yang. I pulled Ling Yang from my first beginner banner, and I honestly don't like the character. Like, not from the meta standpoint. I don't like his design, and his playstyle is like kind of funny, but it is nothing for me, honestly. So honestly, most people say that he is the worst 5-star. I cannot agree because I didn't I wasn't able to try out all the 5-stars so far. But I'd say that all tier lists pretty much say that a lot of tier lists or a lot of content creators say that he's bad or he's like the worst 5-star. But still though, even though he is placed here, and even though he's the only 5-star DPS that I tested so far, I would still argue that he possibly could be higher. Just because of the fact that I didn't test out all the other characters, and I also didn't even build the character. That is what I think you have to understand, mostly in the tier list at the beginning of the game. If I just remember back when Genshin released, I don't know, if you guys know Genshin, then you will know what I'm talking about. If you guys don't know Genshin, then I'll try to explain it for everyone. At the beginning, there was a 4-star unit called Bennett. He was, I think, like on the bottom tier, on the tier list. And like after 1 or 2 months, he suddenly became the most insane unit, and he suddenly was SS tier. Like, he started like from C or D tier or something on like mostly every tier list. And all of a sudden, he was SS tier for years. I think till this day, he is a S tier unit. It is a unit that you would put, it is a staple unit that you would put into pretty much the majority of your teams to clear endgame content. And that's why I think we still have to keep this in mind. The game is now just 1 week old, and things like this can change in the future. Of course, this is like just based on my opinion. I'm not too sure if I would put these two characters in tier 2. That could change in the future. But for now, that is what PrideWin says. Okay, then let's go for hybrids. So as I said, I don't want to go over Yinlin. We know that she is confirmed for the next patch. But yeah, I don't want to go over her kit because everything should be leaked for now. So in terms of numbers, so we definitely will wait until she officially releases, until I'll make a educated guess here. Next, we have Modify and Zanua. In my opinion, I tested both of these characters. I'm currently using Zanua. I really think they are insane. I started to build Zanua very early. Then I was unlucky with summons in Giant's banner because I only summoned in Giant's banner to get Modify for later on, because I really feel like these two are the staple 4-stars currently in the game, because they were able to buff your team, which is a mechanic that in Genshin was very, very important. And like just from the fields, even though the combat is different, I think the scalings from Wuthering Waves and Genshin are very similar. Like you want to have like similar stats and similar buffs on other characters. Okay, then we have on tier 1, on the sub DPS category, we have the Spectral Rover. So this is the Rover form that you start with, and Jianshin. Jianshin, after 1 week, I have to say she's my favorite character right now. I think you were there when I started the stream on day 1. When she appeared the first time, I said that I don't like her from her appearance. Which, if I like, but I didn't know about all the other 5-stars. And if I would now compare it to all other 5-stars, I think the only one that I think looks cooler for me is Culturo. So Culturo, out of the 5-star characters that are available, I think is the coolest one, in my opinion. So just from the looks. But like from the kit, I really love Jianshin. Jianshin has a kit. It really reminds me on Jean. Jean was my favorite character back in Genshin, if you guys don't know. But I really like all-rounder characters. I think she's very underrated right now. I don't say that she's OP or something, but she's able to do everything. She can shield, she can do damage, and she can heal. These are 3 things. And like utility-wise, she's really, really good. If she is better than the other 5-star characters, I don't know, because she can do a lot of things, but she's like don't really super good at one specific thing. Which why I'd say that it could be right that she is in the tier 1 category, because we still have to think like tier 0, tier 0.5 means these are the top units that are the exceptional units that you would want to build if you clear end game content on the highest level. Tier 1 units are, in my opinion, I think units that also can clear end game content, but these are the ones that you would pick second if you don't, or more replacement units if you don't have like the top tier options. While tier 2 units and below are really rogue options. So that's why we have Alto and we have Yanwu here. I didn't play them at all, so I cannot say anything about those 2 guys. But PrideWin did put them on the tier 2 category. But yeah, I think Jianshin is a solid pickup in the tier 1 category. Overall, I also think she's a very solid unit. Then for the supporter category, there's nothing much to say. We only have 3 supporters. We have Verena, tier 0. Obviously, she's the only 5-star category unit. In my opinion, she also is the best standard 5-star, if you could say so, because her kit has the most longevity here. It is pretty much hard to power creep this character, while it is a bit easier to power creep the other characters. Yeah. Then Baizha is basically the option that you usually use if you didn't have Verena or if you didn't pick her up. That's why I think she is here. This is also Yang is also a character that you get from the start. I thought she was really fun though, until I found out about Jianshin's kit. But if you want to have like a budget Jianshin, if you don't want to summon for your Jianshin or use your tickets, I think you can go along with Yang and you should be fine. And then don't forget, Taoji is tier 3. Honestly, she's one of the best looking characters though, and she's tier 3. But yeah, I think like the problem or the issue on her is everything that she does, these 2 do it better, and Baizha is free to play. That's why I think you would definitely pick her always over Taoji. Okay, now this was the PrideWin tier list. Let's go over the CN tier list on Bilibili. So I only have it like this. This is like the whole tier list. I will put this link in the description down below, and we can see some significant changes. Unfortunately, the quality of the video is not that good, because I think you have to be you have to have an account here, as you can see, to change the quality, which I think is weird. But yeah, that's why I have a screenshot with a much better quality. The screenshot is only missing the Spectral Rover and I think Yanwu here, but I will go over them later. So this is like the same category as the PrideWin tier list. So we have DPS, sub DPS, and we have the supporters. And there is a significant change here, as we can see. Encore is tier 0 in CN, as well as Xian is tier 0, but he's also tier 1. But what does that mean? Why is he in both categories? So he's only tier 0 if you have his signature weapon. So it's basically the limited banner where you can summon to get his weapon. So only under this circumstance, he is tier 0. While Encore is, I think, currently the character with the highest ceiling damage. if we don't count Jian with his weapon, which why Encore is tier 0. And I think like in terms of DPS, they only go by numbers. They place the units by numbers on their potential damage, which I think is really good because this is about facts. And here is a significant change. We have Cultural here, and we have Ling Yang in this category. So maybe I didn't go over here. So we don't have the tier 0.5. Here you have to keep that in mind. We only have tier 0 because tier 0 and tier 0.5 is almost the same level. That's why they did divided like that. But in terms of tier categories, we only have like these categories. So we have like one tier less. That's why I think Encore is on the tier 0 because usually on the PrideWin tier list, she's between 0.5 and tier 1. And because they don't have the tier 0.5, she is tier 0 in CN, which in my opinion is really insane. I thought picking her up right now, but I'm still unsure. I don't know what beginner selection character to pick up because I'm very satisfied currently with Jianshin and how everything goes. But as soon as I'm starting to get more into the end game content, into the Illusion Hall, I think I have to at least pick a little bit more meta-relevant characters to be able to clear it to get the rewards. Yeah, next is that Ling Yang is here to a surprise. So if we just compare these numbers here, he's not too far off from Calchero, and that is what I meant. I think people overlook Ling Yang right now. He's not that bad as people said that he is. And then we have what was her name? I forgot it. Danjin and Shishia. Okay, then we have Shishia and Danjin here in the tier 2 category. For the support category, we only have one tiers. No, it's not support. For the sub DPS, we only have one sub DPS that is tier 0. So I think this is already very good. We're only looking at one, about the existing characters, and Zanwa is tier 0. So compared to this to the PrideWin tier list, she is definitely a tier 0.5, but Mortify is up there as well. But on the CN tier list, Mortify is one tier below. He's tier 1, alongside with Danshin as a support. And then we have Jianshin and what was his name? Alto. On the sub DPS category as well. So how to explain this is basically that these are offensive sub DPS, and I think these are defensive sub DPSs because she gives more a shield. She doesn't provide a damage buff or something like this. For Alto, I don't remember right now, but I think because he's paired here with Jianshin, it means that they are the defensive options, and you would always prefer to pick the offensive options over the defensive options. So before you pick these two, you would pick these three, right? So you start with Zanua, Mortify, and Danjin. You would like to include these three more likely into your team rather than these two characters. And then we have Tao Chi in the tier 2 category. So she's not as bad as on the PrideWin side, but still pretty much below there. Then we go to the supporter. For here, Verena is there. Nothing has changed. Baija here. Nothing has changed. But what did change is that they included 2 more characters here. Okay, maybe I go over this. So we're here now. So as you can see, we're here. This is the bad quality video, but here we can see like the focus on the characters. So we have Baija, then we have Jianshin. Like Jianshin from a healer perspective, I definitely can see she's worse. I'm using her, and I think her heal is decent, but because it is not her main role, obviously she cannot hold up to these 2 characters just in terms of healing, and that's why obviously she is tier 2, but I really like her being tier 1 into the sub DPS category. And then we have these 3 characters, which are all into the bottom tier from the CN side. I think like these 2 are the biggest change. These 2 is even bigger than Encore being tier 0, because if we now look at PrideWin, the Spectral Rover, is tier 1, and Yang Yang is also tier 1. These are two characters in tier 1, and the Spectral Rover is in the hybrid sub DPS category. While on the CN tier list, they moved not one tier down, they moved 2 tiers down. And they both got into the healer category. This is like, I think, the biggest change or the biggest difference here. Usually, I think tier 3 is not that interesting because this is almost always characters that are not that viable, not that good. But because this change is really significant, because it is not only a 1 tier difference, it is a 2 tier difference, I think this is really an insane change here. But yeah, I think I did go over both of the tier lists. Hope you guys do enjoy. I think in the future I will cover more the PrideWin tier list because this is the tier list that most of the people are more common to. I also do think they do put a lot of work in. But as we're getting these CN tier lists from time to time, I will still go over them and cover them as long as I keep doing the Wuthering Waves content. Yeah, so far, I really think the game is insane. I like it very, very much. And yeah, subscribe to the channel for more Wuthering Waves content and more gacha gaming content. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.